You read the title. This is everything I'd want to see in the Mario Kart World version 2.0 update. The Mario Kart World game for the Nintendo Switch 2 family of systems is getting a new update. Here are the new features included in Mario Kart World version 2.0. New characters, costumes, and carts are coming in from the Donkey Kong Bonanza game. First, let's take a look at new costumes. That's right, the king of swing himself, Donkey Kong, is getting new costumes based on Donkey Kong Bonanza. These long overdue additions can be unlocked using Dash Fruit. Become the king of the jungle and strut your stuff with these new alternate costumes for Donkey Kong. Additionally, new characters and carts inspired from the Donkey Kong Bonanza game will be releasing as well. We hope you enjoy unlocking and using this new content. Rev up your engines. 200cc is now available in Mario Kart World. This faster race type can be selected as a new engine class. The faster 200cc engine class opens up a lot of new shortcuts, so we're hoping you enjoy experiencing the courses you love now in 200cc. This engine class can also be chosen when you go play online. Speaking of online, normal online races have now been split up into two different modes. The traditional races have been classified under Road Trip. However, you can now join public online lobbies that only consist of lap-based courses. We call this mode Lap Races. Lap Races and Road Trip have different point scoring systems, so try and increase your VR in both modes. To access Lap Races, simply press the plus button while on this menu. That will switch the mode and let you join lap-based races. Knockout Tour is a brand new mode to Mario Kart World. Previously, you could choose from one of 8 selected cups, however now a new option has joined the race. Press plus to activate Custom Rally. Here you can plot different route from unique tracks, and customize your own knockout rally. There are countless options for you to choose from. Simply pick 5 routes and 1 ending course to do 3 laps on, and enjoy your brand new Knockout Tour. If you enjoy a specific rally, you can favorite it to rejoin at any time. This mode will be available offline in Knockout Tour, and online in friend rooms as well. Next, let's go over a couple of additional features. For hardcore racers, a new computer difficulty option has been unlocked. After unlocking Rainbow Road, you will now receive access to Master Mode difficulty. This turns computer challengers into hardcore racing veterans. This mode is not for the faint of heart, but for those racers looking for an extra challenge, we invite you to try out Master Mode. In time trials, you can now press the plus button to reveal more info, specifically a ghost's exact splits for every single lap they raced. We hope this helps you time trialers out there break some more land speed records. Lastly, in Versus Races, there is a new option for item selection. Returning from the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe game, we're pleased to introduce custom items. Whether you're a masochist who only wants to race with blue shells, or you're a soft little baby that wants to get rid of the lightning item, you can now do that. We hope you enjoy the Mario Kart World version 2.0 update, and we hope you stay tuned for more updates in the future. The Mario Kart World game for the Nintendo Switch 2. I can't even say, why do they talk like that? Hopefully you guys enjoyed that trailer of new features I'd like to see in Mario Kart World version 2.0. Now I'm going to go through all of the different things I brought up and talk about not only how likely they are, but why I think they're pretty important to the game overall. We'll end off this video by saying whether or not I think we'll even get any updates in the first place and why it's kind of taking Nintendo so long. First thing I talked about is Donkey Kong Bonanza costumes and carts and characters. The costumes are all inspired from Bonanza. I mean, you could tell this is literally Bonanza footage that I masked and rotoscoped out to put on the Mario Kart World menu. I think it is absolutely ridiculous that Donkey Kong got his first ever big 3D game. It's literally my favorite game of the year. It's my game of the year is Donkey Kong Bonanza. I absolutely love that game, which is why it makes me kind of sad that there's no real references to it in Mario Kart World. Will this eventually happen? Yeah, I don't know if it's still copium, but I 100% believe we'll eventually get new Donkey Kong costumes. It's absolutely absurd that he has the lowest amount of costumes you could possibly have. He only has 1 other costume. In terms of the main non-Kamek characters, he has the least amount you can possibly have, which is just absurd, especially when you consider that he just got a brand new game where you can choose different costumes. So I just picked some of my personal favorite fur styles. Obviously the first one here is inspired by Donkey Kong's mining outfit from Donkey Kong Bonanza. But yeah, I don't know, I just like the way these different designs look. I would like to see this sort of thing added at some point. I do firmly believe it will happen whenever we get that next big content update for Mario Kart World though, so I'm not too worried that this will never, actually show up. As for the different characters and carts that I want to see added from Donkey Kong Bonanza, the characters are pretty obvious. I'd like to see Diddy Kong, potentially even Dixie Kong. Obviously, the two of them spend time together in the racing layer. Cranky Kong appears in pretty much every layer in the game. I'd like to see him as well. As for Bonanza-specific original characters, Poppy Kong and Grumpy Kong would be super cool, but Void Kong is like, he's gotta be in there. Not only is he the main antagonist for most of the game, but also he kind of already has his own vehicle, this like banana thing he flies around on. And speaking of vehicles, these are the two vehicles I'd like to see. I'd like to see that banana thing, and also just a minecart, because you can ride minecarts in Bonanza. You also, minecarts are like very ingrained in Donkey Kong's history, and it just makes sense as a vehicle. We got a minecart-y vehicle in Mario Kart Tour, so I don't know, it just seems to make sense for me. There's also one more character that I would really like to see. I'm still kind of a little concerned about like spoiling in case you haven't played Bonanza, but you probably already know what it is just based on me talking. But yeah, I'd like to see that main big character from Bonanza also in this game. I feel like I could probably say it without spoiling, but I want to err on the side of caution. So you know who I'm talking about. If you know, you know. Next up, 200cc. So this one's actually going to take a little bit for me to explain. I love 200cc. I think it's one of the greatest additions Nintendo has ever made to any game for free. I mean, if you don't know, Mario Kart 8 on the Wii U got 200cc as a free update, I think like a year after the game released. Like, it was not in there really at launch or even close to launch. But just by adding in that new update of 200cc, so much changed. There was so much replayability added to that game, and I would love to see that happen in World. Now, here's the thing. Adding in 200cc to Mario Kart World is not nearly as simple as just saying, okay, we're gonna make the carts move faster. There is so much that would have to be changed and updated in order for 200cc to fit into this game. First of all, a lot of the like new trick wall ride charge jump mechanics would have to be either reworked or something would have to be done maybe to the courses themselves. I don't exactly know, but you got to think about it logistically. Increasing the speed to make 200cc even possible would turn a lot of lines and shortcuts and maneuvers that you can do with these new, more in-depth mechanics either impossible or they would just like straight up kill you. So definitely the Lakitu barriers and whatnot would all have to be adjusted. I'm not naive. 200cc would be an incredible undertaking for the developers to do, especially as like a free post-launch content thing. Because Mario Kart World is not a traditional Mario Kart game, it is not nearly as simple as just saying, okay, we're gonna make the vehicles go faster. Like, there's a lot more work they'd have to do behind the scenes. However, I don't really care. I mean, it's just such a nice feature to have. It's so fun. I'm personally a huge 200cc fan in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like, it just makes the game so much more enjoyable. Because if you're not having a ton of fun in 150cc, you can just switch to 200 and it makes the game like feel completely different. It's so fun. I love 200cc, so I really would like it in Mario Kart World. However, I'm not holding my breath. I'm a lot more confident we'd get like Donkey Kong costumes and whatnot and some of the other things I'm going to talk about than 200cc, because it just seems like a big undertaking that, I mean, we haven't even gotten like an actual content update, so I don't really know if they'll do that, but I don't know. We'll see. Next, I want to talk about Custom Rally for Knockout Tour. This is a complete no-brainer to me. They already have something like 200 intermissions in this game, right? And Nintendo's forcing people to play the intermissions as actual races, which I will get to in a second because, as you saw, I have a solution for that as well, but I'm not a huge fan of that. In fact, I don't think a lot of people are a huge fan of that. What I am a huge fan of, though, are the intermissions. I think they are great, specifically in Knockout Tour. It's so funny because Nintendo created this whole new, like, style of racing in Mario Kart, which is these intermissions. Like, never before have we been driving from course to course. And then they also created a brand new mode that makes this new intermission style of racing shine. Intermissions are so much better in Knockout Tour. That format just fits them way better, but then Knockout Tour is limited to what, like 8 different cups and that's it? I can understand that maybe Nintendo didn't want to like overwhelm people with the illusion of choice, but by putting this little plus sign custom rally thing up in the top right, I mean, this is super like hidden off to the side. It's not gonna like scare people away. And then from there, I would just say use the same versus style of menu where you go in, pick a course, and then choose the next course you want it to go to. And then you could just do that until you have your own Knockout Tour kind of plotted on its own. There is absolutely zero reason this wouldn't be possible. I mean, these intermissions are already in the game. The menu to select these unique intermissions are already in the game. The idea and implementation of Knockout Tour is obviously already in the game. You would just need to be able to combine these things together, which should not be that difficult. This would take Knockout Tour to being something I really enjoyed, but doesn't have a ton of replayability due to the fact that there's only 8 races here. They're longer races, but there's still only 8 of them. This would take that and turn it into something that is legitimately infinitely replayable. If you could plot plot any possible Knockout Tour course on the Mario Kart World map, that's pretty much infinite opportunity for new races. I haven't run the numbers, but it's gonna be some ridiculously high number you couldn't even fathom. Because of that, and the fact that this content is all already in the game, it's just a matter of letting people play it, again, in the way they want to play it, which seems kind of like a running theme here, but yeah, I would love to see Custom Rally, and I'm more confident in this than some of my other predictions, namely stuff like 200cc and the online thing I'll talk about in a second, because Nintendo pushed Knockout Tour pretty big going into this game. They clearly have the online data to see how much people are actually playing Knockout Tour online, and I'm sure there is a fan base for it, but it's definitely not as big as the normal races. However, adding in custom rallies would not only breathe a lot of life into this new mode Nintendo was pushing before Mario Kart World's release, but it would also just give people infinite more stuff to replay, because they already, again, it's already in the game. I just feel it's so bizarre that this isn't already an option. Next, let's talk about the online. This is something I really don't think is going to happen. It's unfortunate, but I just don't see it happening. That is, of course, being able to switch modes between what I call road trip and then the lap races. I mean, you just gotta think about it realistically. Nintendo already put in an update that essentially removed what I would be calling lap races as an option entirely. So if they're gonna go through the trouble of removing one, why would they go through the trouble of then adding in a separate online queue? It really doesn't make sense. Nothing about it makes sense. I don't understand why they removed it, why Nintendo is trying to choose how people play their games, especially in the Mario Kart game that is supposed to be open and have more player choice and freedom because it is an open world game. To then restrict people to only play that one way is very bizarre. It would be like if Breath of the Wild went in and you could only, beat the game if you went through the Divine Beast dungeons in a specific order. It doesn't make sense, but Nintendo's done it anyway, and because they've already removed the ability to play lap-based courses online, I really don't see them adding it back in. This was just something I threw in for the fans because, I mean, at least personally, this is like one of the main things I'd want if I played a ton of online Mario Kart World, and, I think, honestly, the main reason I don't is because this isn't already in there, so, like, come on, Nintendo. Next, we can talk about time trials. This is a pretty easy one. I'm not a huge time trialer, but for anyone who is, it blows my mind, and I'm very sorry that you have to deal with the fact that Nintendo isn't showing you what the lap splits are. Absolutely no idea why that's not there. It was in Mario Kart 8 and 8 Deluxe. It seems like pretty important information for anyone doing time trials, but unfortunately, that's not in the, that's not an option. You just can't do that, so I wanted to make a note of it, because seems kind of bizarre. I would really hope this gets added. I mean, there's so much empty space, like, on the menu. Even if you have other ghosts, like, downloaded, it could just move them down to get this drop-down menu. I have it just for when you hit plus, it, like, shows more info or hides more info. Seems like a very no-brainer and simple solution to a problem that really doesn't affect many players, but it affects the people who are probably the most into the game, that being the time trial community. Additionally, I didn't mention this in the presentation itself, but I would love if 200cc did come to the game to add that to time trials as well, just like Mario Kart 8 and 8 Deluxe did when 200cc was added to 8 originally. Again, if somehow you haven't played Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or you don't, ever play 200cc, it changes the game up so much that it really does warrant having its own time trial scene. So if it did get added to World, then I would assume they'd add it to time trials as well, because they're not going to go through all the effort again. Like, it's a pretty big undertaking to add 200cc to this game, so if they go through all that effort somehow and it comes to the game, they'll definitely add it to time trials too, which is a good thing. Before we continue talking about the features I do want to see, I want to talk about something that was missing from that presentation or little mock trailer I made. And this is one of the bigger complaints I had been seeing about Mario Kart World when it came out, and I want it to change. I like the way Nintendo handled it, and that is the Kamek characters. The characters you can unlock, the little NPC ones like Fishbone and whatnot that you unlock by using the Kamek item. Specifically, a lot of people are upset that that is how you unlock them, and it's because it's a little random and a little bit grindy to find it. I understand, yeah, it can be a little annoying if you're just sitting there to try and unlock all these characters, but I like the fact that I haven't done that, and there's like still something I can kind of strive to get. Like, I'll, hope that I still unlock, I don't know what I'm missing, like the dolphin character or something. Like, it just gives me something to look forward to while I'm still racing. I don't really mind that it's like a hassle to unlock all of these things. You're not really supposed to just sit down and try and grind and unlock them to 100% the game. That's not, I don't think, what the developers intended. Like, yes, if you want to do that for some reason, then it's probably going to be pretty boring, but I don't know. I personally kind of enjoy the fact that it's difficult. You don't get everything right off the bat. Like, after a couple hours of playing, you've already unlocked every character and cart, so these NPC other characters, like, I don't know, I like the fact that they're a bit harder to unlock. Same thing with the costumes. Like, yes, you can go through and play every character and drive around and get the different dash fruits and unlock all the costumes for the characters in this game, but I like the fact that, it's not just like spoon-fed to you off the start. Like, I would rather it be kind of difficult to unlock things because it's just something else to work for and something else to have. Like, I don't know, to me it just increases replayability and I see zero reason to change it. So even though I did see a lot of people asking for like a better way to unlock, or more so an easier way to unlock all the NPC characters, I don't really want to see that. Like I wouldn't be upset if Nintendo added it, because I don't know, it's kind of whatever at this point, but I don't personally think that's a big issue. I think this game has much bigger issues rather than it being somewhat difficult to unlock all the characters, which is something I actually, again, personally enjoy. So I didn't really want to mention that, but I just wanted to mention it here so you guys know, like, yeah, I know that that is a problem that a lot of people, you know, don't like about the game, but to me personally, I think it's perfectly fine. It's not really an issue to me. In fact, I kind of like it, so that's why I didn't include it as like a fix for this trailer. One more thing before we go back to the actual points I made in the trailer. If you guys are enjoying this video or appreciate the content we're making, if you hit the like button or subscribe or comment or anything really to help out the algorithm, it would be really appreciated. We have just kind of taken a bit of a month and a half or so break from uploading on the channel because, I don't know, midterms and whatnot, colleges is a little difficult at times. So obviously with YouTube, there's like all sorts of algorithms at play and whatnot, and they really do value consistency, which I guess we haven't been doing, so that's on us. But if you do want to help us get back into the swing of things, any sort of like interaction with the video would help it in the algorithm, and seriously does mean a lot. Like, I appreciate all the support you guys always give us. It's super kind, and yeah, I appreciate it. So thank you guys for the support. If you haven't subscribed yet and are enjoying the video, then just think about subscribing. I don't know, it's free and would make me smile, I guess. I don't know. All right, thank you guys. Let's get back to it. Next up, this one upsets me. Master difficulty on the computers. Funnily enough, this would not require any development time because they already had master difficulty. In fact, it was just called hard. Yeah, Nintendo nerfed at some point the computer difficulty in Mario Kart World. I guess people were complaining everyone was being too soft and complained about how the computers were too difficult when they were on the hard mode. Or maybe people were just complaining across the board. I don't really know, but all I know is that I would play against hard computers and it would be pretty fun, and then suddenly Nintendo updates the game and hard computers are back to being way too easy. I have no desire personally to play a video game where I win all the time. There is just, like, I don't really see the point in doing that. I want to be challenged when I play a video game. Normally I would go online for that challenge. I can't play the game the way I want to online, so I play against computers and my friends, and when I do that, just the computers are all super easy. I understand it, that's fine. I mean, and not everything can be like Smash Ultimate where you have like a 1 through 9 difficulty, but the fact that they already have harder versions of these CPUs and then they remove them for some reason, just put that option in as a master mode thing so I can select it in versus races. I mean, this is something I really haven't seen anyone talk about. Like, the other stuff I've mentioned so far, I have seen some, you know, concern for. Like, people want to see 200cc, people want to see the online mode thing change. This, I haven't seen anyone see, but it pisses me off because the option is already there. Like, they have the code, it was in the game at the start, and then they just made the computers easier. So let us go make them harder, Nintendo. I mean, come on. Lastly, I want to talk about custom items. This is just something that I also really want to see because it was in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, and it added so much replayability. When custom items came in, I believe it was through version 4.0 of Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I was over the moon because it added a ton of replayability. I mean, it's just fun. You know, I have, what, like 800, 900, probably 1,000 hours in that game, honestly, if you count the Wii U version. So just being able to go in, choose all the different items, get some wacky, you know, weird blue shell only, you know, mushrooms so I can just practice blue shell dodges meta. I like whatever I want to pick, I could pick it. And it was super fun, and it just added more replayability for when I was playing alone, but also when I'm playing with my friends locally. Once again, this isn't something that should really take up a ton of development time at all. You just do the same thing you did in Mario Kart 8. Like, make a menu, you know, it's a little bit of UI design work, but besides that, it's just you pick the items and then they're either available or not. Shouldn't be super difficult. I would really enjoy seeing them add in custom items. This is another thing where it's like very simple to do, but would add a lot of replayability for fans like myself. And considering they already added this in as an update for Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, I would say this is honestly not super unlikely. I would say it's pretty likely at some point. And I guess this kind of leads me into my main point being, at some point, okay, I've said that a lot, like whenever they get around to updating this game. My main point being, why have they not updated this game yet? I've seen this a lot across the Nintendo community of people being like, oh, is Mario Kart World never going to get an update? Is this, is that? I don't think that's the case. I think this game will 100% get an update. I just think Nintendo is kind of waiting because they saw how successful Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe was one of the highest selling games Nintendo had ever made, even before the announcement of the Booster Course Pass. Before the Booster Course Pass, 8 Deluxe really got no updates at all. There was a Labo update, so shout out Labo if you're a fan of that got an update. They also added in a costume for Breath of the Wild Link and the Master Cycle Zero, but besides that, there was really nothing added to 8 Deluxe for the majority of its life. Then by the time we get to, I believe it was 2022, the Booster Course Pass gets announced, and that goes on for 2 years. Even Even though 8 Deluxe was doing well beforehand, the Booster Course Pass really propelled it back to being like the main topic of discussion for Nintendo. At least when you look at in terms of sheer numbers, like it had the most people playing the game, it had the most people who had purchased the game, and it was one of the biggest things people would talk about anytime there was a direct and there was a new wave of the Booster Course Pass shown off or something like that. Like everyone loved getting new Mario Kart content. And I think Nintendo saw that and realized, oh, okay, well, we can just do that again. What made the Booster Course Pass so successful though wasn't just that, you know, everyone loved Mario Kart while it was going on. It was the fact that they could wait so long before putting out the Booster Course Pass and then all those fans were still there. The Booster Course Pass came out like 5 years after 8 Deluxe originally launched. I don't think we're going to be waiting that long for World's updates. I mean, we better not be, jeez. But I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo goes about a year or so without updating Mario Kart World and then slowly starts rolling stuff out in preparation for whatever big paid expansion they end up doing. Mario Kart World will almost definitely go down as the Nintendo Switch 2's big flagship title and the one that sold the most, just like Mario Kart 8 Deluxe did on the Switch, 8 did on the Wii, 7 did on the 3DS. I mean, you can go on and on. Because of that and the success of the Booster Course Pass, I think Nintendo's going to try and drag out the lifespan of this game, but I do believe it will get updates. I mean, if this is going to be the big Switch 2 game that Nintendo kind of puts in every single commercial from now until the console's death, then it seems ridiculous to just kind of let it sit there and not have any DLC. They're clearly, obviously, still interested in the game. Every couple of months they put out a patch. The patch obviously doesn't really do a ton most of the time, but they like tweak stuff with the online and make it a little bit more likely to get the lap-based courses. So clearly they have their eye on this game still. It's not just something they shipped and then are like, all right, whatever happens, happens. They're also clearly into doing DLC with these big titles. Donkey Kong Bonanza got an update really soon after it released. I think that's because Donkey Kong Bonanza is a single-player game. You play it and then that's it. So they want to have the update come out pretty soon after it releases so that everyone like myself who gets it day of isn't like too far removed from that experience, so that they still probably want to buy the DLC because it's kind of still like ingrained in their mind. Like you just played through Bonanza, it's like, oh yeah, that was a fun game, I'll buy the DLC. With Mario Kart World, Nintendo doesn't really need to be in that rush because people will still be playing Mario Kart World regardless of whether or not it gets an update. That's just the reality of the situation. It's Mario Kart. It's going to be incredibly popular. They don't need to rush out an expansion pass. They can kind of wait a little bit, and then maybe once they see the player numbers drop below a certain threshold, their sales numbers start to slow down, then they juice it back up with a free update or, you know, maybe a paid DLC expansion. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? I don't know, man. I'm just saying what I would like to see. And my general thoughts and opinions on Nintendo as someone who's been covering them for about 8 years now. I think anyone saying Mario Kart World won't get an update is a little crazy. It kind of, like, it would be a ridiculous business decision by Nintendo to not update this game. It's going to be incredibly popular, sell super well. I would be shocked if it didn't eventually get updates, but I also wouldn't be surprised if they take a while to get to those updates, just again, because Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, like, did so well, had such a sustained lifespan. They're probably expecting the same thing for World, and that's the reason I think they'll kind of wait. With that out of the way, though, hopefully you guys all enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button and subscribe because that does mean a lot. Because we all took a bit of a break working on like schoolwork and real life stuff, the channel's probably not going to get recommended out a ton. So if you do enjoy this video, hitting the like button, commenting, anything to help the algorithm, it is really appreciated. It means a lot, guys. I've yapped for long enough about Mario Kart World. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you in the next one. I'm Thomas from the Switched Up signing off. Peace.